In the heart of the darkness, every spark reveals a story you never wanted to hear. When Daniel and his family moved into an old countryside house, it was his youngest son, Max, who discovered the treehouse deep in the woods. It looked abandoned for years. The planks were worn and green moss crept along the edges of the wood. Yet something about it seemed oddly untouched. A weathered swing swaying gently, even though there was no wind. Max started spending more and more time in the treehouse, coming back each day with the stories of a new friend named Eli. Daniel and his wife thought it was just imagination until Max began acting strangely. He stopped eating, spoke in whispers even when alone, and at night they could hear him giggling in his room, as if talking to someone. One evening, Daniel decided to follow him. He waited until Max ran off to the treehouse, then quietly trailed behind, watching as his son climbed the creaky ladder. But when Daniel peered inside, he saw Max sitting completely still, eyes wide, staring at an empty corner of the room. Max was laughing, but his face was frozen in a forced expression. When Daniel called out to him, Max slowly turned and whispered, "Eli doesn't want you here." The next day, Max disappeared. The police searched everywhere but found no trace of the boy. Days later, Daniel climbed into the treehouse one last time. On the dusty floor, a name was scratched into the wood in shaky handwriting, Eli. Beneath it, another message, "Max is mine now too." Max was never found, and the treehouse remained there, empty. Or so it seemed. Like and subscribe now. Are you brave enough to join the hunt? Lisa and Tom were childhood friends. They spent summers playing in the treehouse that Tom's father had built years ago at the edge of the forest near his house. It was their hideout, the place where they shared secrets and adventures. Over time, life pulled them apart. After 10 years without contact, Lisa received a message from Tom. "Let's meet at the treehouse like old times." She arrived at sunset, an uneasy feeling settling in her chest. The treehouse looked exactly as she remembered it, though older, more fragile. The ladder was still there, but the steps groaned ominously under her weight. She climbed carefully, but when she reached the top, the treehouse was empty. No sign of Tom. Lisa decided to wait, but the air grew colder quickly, and a rotten smell began to fill the small space. Then she noticed something. A folded piece of paper in the corner with familiar handwriting. She opened it and read, "I should have never climbed up here that day." Confused, Lisa glanced out the small window. That's when she saw Tom, or at least something that looked like him, standing among the trees. His face was pale, almost translucent, and his smile was too wide, unnatural. Panicked, Lisa scrambled down and ran to Tom's parents' house. When his mother opened the door, her face twisted into a look of shock. "Tom died 10 years ago, Lisa. You know that. He fell from the treehouse." Lisa never returned to that forest, but every now and then she swore she saw Tom in her dreams, always near that cursed treehouse, with the same unsettling smile frozen on his face.